Hey, what is going on, guys? It's Johnny, and it's been a hot minute, but welcome to another Genshin Impact video. First of all, I just want to apologize for my absence during the majority of August. With summer coming to an end in the entirety of version 2, I took some time off to take a break and relax a little. However, with version 3.0 now live, we're going straight into it, and to celebrate the occasion, I did some major upgrades to iTrinity. Oh yeah, I never did a proper introduction for iTrinity yet. It's my personal computer. We spent over $2,000 upgrading iTrinity's hardware to the state-of-the-art technology, and now I present to you iTrinity 2.0. It was definitely quite expensive, but worth the investment nonetheless for better performance. Seriously though, thanks a bunch guys for being patient with me during this entire process, and I'm very glad to be back. Moving on though, in today's video, I wanted to talk about the long-awaited Sumeru and share my experience so far with this incredible region. While I'm nowhere remotely close to completing Sumeru, I'm having a ton of fun and wanted to explain why. Throughout this video, I'll talk about everything I witnessed along with some awesome features and events that's released in version 3.0. As a reminder guys, this video will mainly be based on my personal experience, and therefore, you may see some cutscenes that are included in the Archon quest. While we won't go in depth with the story because it's still relatively new, if you prefer not to see these cutscenes prior to experiencing it yourself, then please exit the video and return after you have finished the story. Before we do jump into it guys, if you do like the video, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. This will greatly help our channel to grow and help with the YouTube algorithm, and recommend the video to other viewers. Now without any further ado, let's jump right into it. Whenever a new region is released, we can always expect new story to be added in as well. With version 3.0, Chapter 3 was released alongside Acts 1 and 2. Story is always the first place to visit for most because it will introduce a lot of new characters and opportunities to explore new areas, which we got to experience. Currently, I've only completed Act 1, which was actually pretty lengthy and took about 4 hours to complete. For me though, one of the things I enjoy most about Genshin Impact is definitely the story, so the time spent wasn't an issue at all. Actually, it was the opposite because the story was very good, and I can only hope that Act 2 will continue to deliver. I always play the story at nighttime around 12:01 AM with a nice drink on standby because I like to complete an act in one sitting without any disruptions. This will let me enjoy the story to its entirety and try to connect everything I learned because Genshin is a game with lots of information and fancy names. If you're short on time though, then definitely spread it out because you could be sitting down for a while. There were so many cutscenes, which is why Act 1 took so long to complete. These cutscenes were fully voiced as well, which is something that I always appreciate Hoyoverse for taking the time to do. You'll hear me mentioning this a lot on the channel, but the voice acting in Genshin is one of the best, if not the best. Each individual voice actor is so unique and does an amazing job at portraying the character's personality that they are playing. The cutscenes were definitely more enjoyable with voice lines and made it more engaging for the audience. Without voice lines, you'll just get this. Another favorite thing for me about Sumeru is also the introduction of new characters. Normally, we would usually see like 1 or 2 new characters every update because the game needs time to create the characters and fit them into the story. However, with the major update, you don't generally run into that issue because with the release of a new region, it's not uncommon for a bunch of new characters to make an appearance in the main story, similar to how Inazuma was released. Now, even though most aren't featured on banners yet, characters introduced were Kale, a trainee forest ranger, Tainari, chief officer of the rangers and also Kale's master, Dia, an eremite and bodyguard, Nilu, a dancer for the Sub-Zerus festival, Alhaitham, a scholar of the academia, and lastly, Dori, a traveling merchant. Overall, they look amazing and definitely fit into Sumeru's overall theme. Out of the bunch though, my personal favorite is Dia. Kind of hard not to after she left such a strong impression, especially on Paimon. These characters all made an appearance in Act 1, and I hope for Act 2 we'll get to see a couple more. Someone in particular that I am very excited for is Sino, who we know is from Sumeru thanks to the Tavad chapter preview trailer. We can also expect the previous characters mentioned to be coming in the future as playable characters. 2 of them already are actually. Tainari is a 5-star character who currently has a banner ongoing that's also featuring Kale as a 4-star character. Additionally, Hoyoverse did something really awesome and are giving players an opportunity to receiving Kale for free. Players simply need to complete the unappreciated carving quest, and upon completion, travelers will be able to invite this new character onto their team. Keep in mind that this quest is limited time, so try to complete it as soon as possible when you get the chance. Adding Kale onto your team will definitely be beneficial for any account and a great introduction to trying out Dendro reactions. Speaking of Dendro reactions, the first thing I did when I arrived in Sumeru and any new region when given the chance was climb up the Statue of the Seven. As we all know, the Statue of the Seven is what enables the traveler to switch between the different elements, and with the introduction of Sumeru, we get to try out the Dendro Traveler. Quite honestly, Dendro Traveler is looking pretty good, and I'm excited to try him out once I get the Dendro artifacts and level up his talents. Even at talent level 1, his elemental skill actually does a pretty good amount of damage. Looks like Dendro Traveler's kit also has some EM scaling and could pair well with certain characters. The best part was trying out the different Dendro reactions though while I was exploring the beautiful Sumeru. Seriously, Sumeru was massive and we barely even scratched the surface because this update didn't give us the entirety of Sumeru. Sumeru City is surrounded by the rainforest, but eventually it'll extend towards the desert area. You can also see hints of this by approaching the edge of the map that's explorable, where there is sand on the outskirts. This is most likely where we meet Sino as well, because based on his appearance, his attire looks like he's well equipped for the desert. For this update though, we got to check out the rainforest side of things, and let me tell you, it was an awesome experience. You got to see some of the typical stuff we generally saw in previous regions, but at the same time, a whole new bunch of stuff. Treasure hoarders do exist within the borders of Sumeru, but a new type of mercenary group is also introduced called the Eremites. What's crazy is that you get to fight with wild animals now. There are a couple like these jaguar and boar looking ones who don't have a lot of HP, but once you defeat them, you get a decent amount of protein. Meat is one of those resources that could take some time to obtain previously, but now that you're able to go into combat versus wild animals, it'll be easier to farm. 2 new bosses were also introduced with the Electro Regisvine and the Jade Plume Terra Shroom. The Jade Plume in particular is going to be the first boss that drops the Dendro Emerald, which you'll need for leveling up certain characters. On top of having an insane name, this boss looks very cool and surprisingly enough wasn't as difficult as I initially thought it was going to be, which is great because some of the previous ones be annoying. Since Sumeru is so massive and has some pretty high ground to cover, Hoyoverse added a couple new mechanics that'll make traveling easier. As you're exploring, travelers can occasionally find 4-leaf sigils. As you spot the 4-leaf sigil, simply press T and your active character will zip towards the sigil. If there's another sigil nearby or within distance, then you can repeatedly use this mechanic for faster travel and reach certain areas. Additionally, since there are some pretty tall mountains, you can find some bouncy mushrooms that will launch you when jumping on it, because climbing can take a while. To further help mitigate this issue, there are a couple plants hanging on the mountains that will restore your stamina when coming in contact, making it faster to climb mountains. All of these additional features are great and will make traveling more convenient. I was actually really thrilled by it, and it made traveling more fun for me because there are some instances where you can really enjoy the scenery. The music in Genshin is always phenomenal, and Sumeru is no exception either. Hoyoverse definitely takes music seriously, as seen by all of the live performances they showed. When I was exploring Sumeru, it was very peaceful with all the nature surrounding you, and the music just fit the overall theme. It made me feel how I was supposed to feel, at peace. But let me tell you, when you get into combat though, you knew something was going down. Alrighty guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Apologies again for being MIA for so long, but I really appreciate everyone being patient. If you did enjoy the video, be sure to smash the like and subscribe button. Don't forget to also turn that notification bell so you don't miss out on any newly released videos. I've been Johnny D, and until next time, I'll catch you guys in the next one.